Tenses. Simple past tense. Did. Outcomes. 1. To practice simple past, affirmative, negative, interrogative correctly. 2. To add did plus verb to with subjects correctly. The timeline. Put these tenses in the correct place on the timeline. Future, present, and past. Past, thing happened and finished. Present, thing happens at present. Future, thing will happen in future. Simple past tense or past simple tense is a verb tense that describes completed actions or past habits. It is also used to talk about a series of events in the past. Did is the helping verb of simple past tense. For affirmative or positive sentences, we used past simple form of a verb. The use of simple past tense. The simple past tense is used 1. To describe past actions that happen one after the other. For example, I was in the park. 2. It describes completed actions or past habits. For example, he often played the guitar. 3. It is used to talk about a series of events in the past. Example, Jack repaired the car last week. Explanations and usages of simple past tense. 1. Finished actions in the past. Simple past tense is used to describe a finished action in a specific time in the past. For example, I watched a film yesterday. I didn't watch a film yesterday. Last year, I traveled to Italy. 2. A series of finished actions. Simple past tense is also used to describe past actions that happen one after the other. The series of actions are all expressed in simple past tense. Examples. I went out, walked to the park, and watched the sky silently. I was in the park. 3. Past habits. We can also use simple past tense to talk about habits in the past. Examples. I always played basketball when I was a child. He often played the guitar. They never went to school. They always skipped. Which auxiliary helping verb to use for simple past tense? The auxiliary verb in simple past tense is did. However, we use was or were to talk about a state in the past. I walked in the park. I didn't walk in the park. Did you walk in the park? I was in the park. I wasn't in the park. Were you in the park? How can we add the, ed, or ied to the verbs? 1. We add ed to regular verbs ending with a vowel plus y. Play, played. Stay, stayed. Sway, swayed. 2. We add d to regular verbs ending with e. Shake, shaped. Like, liked. Live, lived. 3. We change y into I and we add ed to verbs ending with a consonant and y. Carry, carried. Study, studied. Tidy, tidied. What are the regular verbs? Regular verbs are the verbs that gets ed or ied or D for the past simple forms. Example: clean, cleaned, cleaned. Play, played, played. Study, studied, studied. What are the irregular verbs? Irregular verbs are the verbs which don't get ed, ied, or d to form past simple form or past participle form. There is a number of irregular verbs which needs to be memorized. Because the information has no standard rule, some verbs have the same form as present simple form, past simple form, or past participle form. For example, cut, put, let, hit. Examples of irregular verbs: find, found, found. Go, went, gone. Break, broke, broken. Speak, spoke, spoken. Put, put, put. Yesterday, last, ago, in 1998, 2012. Usages of time expressions in simple past tense. Yesterday. I went to the cinema yesterday. Last week, last year, last Sunday, last month, etc. Example: he bought a car last week. 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 minutes ago, etc. I saw her 5 minutes ago. In 1995, in 2003, etc. Example: I had an accident in 2014. Affirmative form: he, she, it, plus verb to. Example: he worked in Amman. I plus verb to. Example: I worked in Amman. We, they, you plus verb to. Example: they worked in Amman. Using was or were to talk about past states. If you want to talk about a past state or condition, we use was or were. The negative form is was not, were not, or wasn't, weren't. To make questions, we use was or were before the subject. Example: I lived in London. I was in London. Examples using did: Sally worked at the hospital. Sally didn't work at the hospital. Did Sally work at the hospital? Where did Sally work? Examples using was or were: Sally was at the hospital. Sally wasn't at the hospital. Was Sally at the hospital? Where was Sally? Examples: I worked in a public school last year. She went to the cinema yesterday. They lived in Amman last month. It fell down in 1998. Write the correct form of the verb. He ate an apple yesterday. We played chess 2 days ago. I visited my grandparents last week. Negative form. With he, she, and it, we use did plus not plus verb 1. He did not work. With I, we use did plus not plus verb 1. I did not work. With we, they, and you, we use did plus not plus verb 1. You did not work. Examples: he didn't live in Irbid. I didn't play tennis. You didn't study English. It didn't rain yesterday. Write the correct form of the verbs. She didn't wash the dishes yesterday. We didn't travel to the UAE in 2011. I did not cook fish for the last 2 months. Interrogative form, questions. We use did with he, she, it, plus verb 1. We also use did with you, they, we, and I, plus verb 1. Examples. Did he play chess yesterday? Yes, he did. Or no, he didn't. Did they eat fish 2 days ago? Yes, they did. No, they didn't. Write the correct form of the verb. 1. Did she wash the dishes yesterday? 2. Did they paint the wall last year? 3. Did you walk to school an hour ago?